All right, today we're going to do something a little different. We're diving headfirst into a philosophical dreamscape. We'll be exploring a world that's built entirely from a dialogue, a conversation that questions everything: who we are, what reality even is, and why art might just be our most essential tool for survival.
Okay, so picture this. You wake up, but you're not in your bed, you're somewhere else. You have zero memory of how you got there. All you have is this one single massive question just echoing in your mind. Who am I? This is exactly where our journey kicks off.
So our protagonist has basically just blinked into existence. There's no backstory, no context, just this sudden, spontaneous awareness and this immediate, gut-wrenching need to figure out who they are in this bizarre new place.
I mean, you can just feel the confusion in those words, right? It's not just about where am I, it's about how do I even exist? This whole idea of just appearing out of nowhere really sets the stage for everything that's about to come. But right when the quest for identity starts, another voice appears, and it throws a total wrench in the works. It asks, hey, is this need to find yourself actually your need? Or is it just something you've picked up from everyone else? A kind of social programming? What a fascinating first obstacle.
So the dialogue basically puts a choice to our protagonist. Are you a questioning mind, someone who's driven to find meaning and purpose? Or are you just a clockwork being? A complicated machine that's just designed to keep on ticking. It's really the core difference between asking, why am I here, versus just, how do I keep going?
And just when things are getting super complicated on the inside, they get even weirder on the outside. All of a sudden, our protagonist is surrounded by other beings. But these aren't just random people. No, they're about to completely blow up the whole idea of what a self even is. This is such a wild paradox. These new beings are saying, look, we're our own people, but we also live inside your head. The dialogue even compares them to all the different emotional reactions firing off in a brain. They're all distinct, yeah, but they all come from the exact same source.
And this leads to this really profound idea that the self isn't one solid thing. It's what the text calls a universal multiplicity. Think of it like the slide says. They're all just different sides of the same gem. Each one is a projection of the main consciousness, trying to talk to itself, to understand itself. Basically, we need others to even know who we are.
Okay, let's keep going, because now the journey turns outward. We've been looking at the self, but now we're looking at the world itself. And, well, it turns out the landscape is just as unstable and questionable as their own identity.
The dialogue brings up a river. It's there, it looks like a river, but it doesn't move. It's completely static. And that one little detail just shatters everything. What if this entire world isn't real? What if it's all just symbols? A painting of an idea, not a real place at all?
And to prove the point, the world literally starts changing. One second, our characters are standing in these beautiful, lush green fields, an absolute paradise. But just as they start to get comfortable, bam, it's gone. In an instant, it's replaced by this huge, icy, desolate wasteland. The shift is jarring, it's total, and you realize it's tied to what they're thinking and feeling. And it doesn't even stop there.
Because that wasteland then dissolves into this cold, decaying, rotting world. This super fast transformation makes it undeniable. This reality isn't objective. It's a canvas. And your perception, that's the paint.
So this brings us to a really important philosophical idea: qualia. The easiest way to think about qualia is that it's the raw material of your subjective world. It's not the science of light waves hitting your eye. It's your personal experience of the color red. It's that feeling of joy, the smell of rain. It's the what it's like part of any experience. And in this world, those feelings are literally the fabric of reality. So, all of this journey, all these questions, they build up to a final, fundamental choice. If the world is something you can shape, do you shape it into something beautiful and meaningful, basically a work of art? Or do you strip all that away and face the cold, empty, meaningless abyss of what might be objective reality?
And this is where the defense of our subjective world comes in. The dialogue basically argues that art exists for this exact reason. It's not just some nice decoration. It's a tool that we need as conscious beings to make a chaotic and often brutal existence feel not just tolerable, but meaningful.
And this slide just lays out the two sides of the argument perfectly.
On one side, you've got the unfiltered universe, just chaos, entropy, cold indifference. And on the other, you have the world we build in our minds, art, meaning, the joy of qualia. It's literally a choice between raw data and a curated experience.
This quote really hits it home. The idea here is that if you were to face the raw, unfiltered chaos of the universe head-on, well, that might just be what insanity feels like. So from that perspective, art and illusion aren't just escapes. They're necessary. They're mental shelters. They are, quite literally, survival mechanisms.
So as we start to wrap this journey up, the conclusion becomes really clear. This whole external quest was always a journey inward. The world isn't something you just go out and find. It's a mirror. It's a reflection of the landscape inside your own mind.
And what's the main tool for this inner exploration? Well, it's art. According to this dialogue, the whole point of art is basically a three-step process. First, it helps you change how you see reality. Second, it lets you navigate the crazy, complicated world inside your own head. And third, it lets you actually improve reality by reinterpreting it.
And here it is. This is the big takeaway from all of this. We are not just passive observers sitting in a movie theater watching a fixed reality play out. No way. We are active creators. Every single moment we are interpreting, we are shaping, and we are creating the universe that we experience. You are the artist of your own existence.
And that really just leaves us with one final, powerful question. A question that this whole journey has been building toward, not just for the characters in this story, but for every single one of us. If your existence truly is a canvas, what are you going to choose to paint?